All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most important ideas in the tech world, Ethereum. But hold on, this isn't just about another cryptocurrency. We're talking about something way bigger, a totally new kind of computer, one that's designed to run for the entire world all at once.
So probably the best way to get your head around this is with an analogy. Think of Bitcoin as a calculator. It's brilliant at what it does. One thing, which is transferring value. Simple, secure, perfect. But Ethereum? That's more like a smartphone. It's not for just one thing. It's a platform that can run thousands of different apps. That shift in ambition from a single tool to a general-purpose computer is absolutely huge.
So where did this idea even come from? Well, it started with a programmer named Vitalik Buterin. Back in 2013, he looked at Bitcoin and thought, this is amazing, but it's also really limited. He saw that to really unlock what a blockchain could do, you needed to build something new, something that was, from day one, designed to be programmable.
And that right there is the magic word, programmability. It's the one thing that turns a boring old ledger into a world computer. This is all made possible by something called smart contracts, which are basically just little programs that run on their own, making sure agreements are kept without needing anyone in the middle.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this world computer actually, work? It sounds super complicated, but it's really built on a few core, elegant ideas. So let's pop the hood and take a look inside the engine room.
First thing you need to know about are those smart contracts. The easiest way to think about them is like a vending machine on the internet. If you put in your money and press the button, then a snack comes out. Guaranteed. Smart contracts are just like that. They're code that automatically enforces an agreement. Once the conditions are met, it just runs. No banks, no lawyers, no one you have to trust. It just works.
At the very heart of Ethereum, you have what's called the EVM, the Ethereum Virtual Machine. You can just think of it as the global operating system for all those smart contracts. It's basically one giant computer, but it's run by thousands of individual computers, or nodes, all around the world. And its main job is to make sure every single program runs in the exact same way on every single machine. That's how the whole network stays in sync.
But running a computer this massive, it takes energy. It needs fuel. In Ethereum, that fuel is called gas. Every single thing you do on the network, whether it's a simple payment or a really complex trade, costs a tiny amount of gas. And this is so important for two reasons. First, it stops people from spanning the network because that would get really expensive fast. And second, it's what pays the people who run their computers to keep the network secure and process all the transactions.
And this whole system, of course, runs on ETH, which is Ethereum's own native asset. But here's the thing. ETH isn't just another coin to speculate on. Its value is tied directly into the way the network actually functions.
It's really cool, actually. ETH kind of wears three different hats at the same time. First, it's a store of value. You can think of it like digital gold. Second, it's a commodity. It's the essential gas you have to get anything done on the network. And third, it's a capital asset. You can stake your ETH, which means locking it up to help secure the network, and in return, you earn more ETH. It's kind of like a bond that pays you interest.
Now, speaking of securing the network, back in 2022, Ethereum pulled off maybe one of the craziest technical feats I've ever seen. It was called the merge, and it was literally like trying to swap out the jet engine on an airplane while it was still flying at 30,000 feet and without any of the passengers even noticing. It was that complex.
So what did that mind-boggling upgrade actually achieve? This. A drop of 99.95%. The big question is, a drop in what? We're talking about the network's total energy use. It plummeted. By switching from a system that needed massive amounts of electricity, called proof of work, to a super efficient one called proof of stake, Ethereum basically solved one of the biggest criticisms of blockchain technology overnight. It was an incredible moment that proved this network can actually change and evolve.
Okay, so we have this powerful, super efficient engine now. So what's actually been built on top of it? Well, it's not just a platform anymore. It's more like a bustling digital city, a whole economy. And the numbers, they really do tell the story.
Just look at this number for a second. Nearly $86 billion.
That represents something called total value locked, or TVL, inside Ethereum's decentralized finance, or DeFi economy. Now, TVL is a really important metric. Think of it as a measure of trust. It's the total amount of money that people have deposited into all these different financial apps running on Ethereum. When that number is high, it means people are really confident in the network's security, confident enough to lock up billions of dollars.
And when you look at the DeFi space, Ethereum isn't just one of the players on the field, it is the field. I mean, just look at this chart. Its total value locked just dwarfs everyone else. It is the undisputed hub for the world's decentralized economy.
Okay, so this raises a pretty obvious question, right? If you've got a digital city this busy, what about traffic jams? How do you keep things moving smoothly for millions of people? Well, the answer is something called Layer 2s. And the easiest way to think of them is like express lanes on a highway.
And right now, these express lanes come in two main flavors. First, you've got optimistic rollups. They're really fast and cheap, but there's a trade-off. You have to wait about a week to get your funds out. Then you have ZK rollups. These use some seriously advanced math to give you top-tier security and instant withdrawals, but they cost a bit more to run. The great thing is, this gives developers and users a choice, depending on what they need most.
And that brings us to the future, because here's the most important thing to remember about Ethereum. It is nowhere near finished. It's a project that is very much under construction, with a clear public roadmap to get even bigger, faster, and more secure.
And this isn't some vague plan, it's a very specific roadmap. After the merge made it energy efficient, the current phase is the surge, which is all about massive scaling using those layer 2s. After that comes the verge, to make the network easier to verify. Then the scourge, to fight against centralization. And finally, the splurge, which is cheekily described as fixing all the other little things.
And look, this isn't just a fantasy roadmap on a whiteboard. It's happening right now. The first big part of the surge already went live. It was an upgrade that dramatically lowered transaction fees on those Layer 2 express lanes, making the whole ecosystem way cheaper and more accessible for everyone.
So what you're really watching is a world computer being built, piece by methodical piece, right out in the open for everyone to see. It's a living, breathing system with a very clear destination. So the question isn't really if it works anymore. The real question is, how far can it go? Will this grand experiment become the very foundation for our digital lives? The plans are set, and construction is well underway.